Hi friends, it's Marsha with Buy Sell Plan. Welcome back to my channel. We are going to be doing our weekly planning. We're going to recap last week and set great goals for the last week of October. It's also the last week of the fiscal year for me and my real estate business. November starts a new fiscal year. I'm really excited for that. So today's Friday as I'm filming. I normally do my weekly planning videos on a Saturday, but my Saturday is booked solid. We are showing 5 properties to some buyers. We sold their condo 2 weeks ago after 4.5 months on market, which is good considering the average days on market for condos in my market is 6 months. So I'm very happy for them. We finally get to move on and get them out of condo living. So we're looking at 5 properties tomorrow, and then we have a housewarming for other clients. We helped them sell their house and buy this beautiful home. And I follow her on Instagram and I see how she's been decorating and setting it up. It's so cozy and it's like the vintagey kind of grandma core, that's trending right now. So I can't wait to see it in person. So we're going over for dinner tomorrow. So happy for that. So anyways, I wanted to do a face to camera intro since it has been a while since I've done that, and say hello, hi, how are you? Let me know in the comments how October is going for you. I gotta be honest, I am on the struggle bus. I started this quarter with such ambition. If you watched my fall reset video, you will know I mapped out everything that I'm focusing on for the fall. And that's okay because it wasn't just my goals for October. It was for the rest of the year. So we're still okay. I've accomplished a lot this month, but then there's other areas that I haven't. And I don't know if this is a type A personality trait where I'm thinking that it isn't enough because I haven't accomplished everything that I wanted to get done. So my goal is to finish October as strong as possible. I've got 1 week to do it, and I'm going to do everything that I can. I've also not really been feeling 100% ever since I got back from vacation. I have been feeling like a cold is coming on, but it doesn't turn into a cold, if that makes sense. Like I'll have a day where I'm just extra tired, and that kind of burning, scratchy feeling you start getting in your throat, and something's happening, but then the next day I feel great. So today I feel great, but yesterday I didn't. So that's also been a contributing factor. So that's out of my control, but it is what it is. All right, before we get to the planning, I wanted to share with you an update on the CEO Life Planner that I have been talking about all month. And I'm happy to say that I've got a lot sketched out. And do you remember this binder? My A5 Filofax Malden. Oh my gosh. When I hold the binder and smell this binder, it just feels so good, right? So juicy and just gorgeous. So I've been pulling this out to do my sketches because I really like the size of the paper. And now I'm thinking I'm going to turn this into a projects binder, maybe a couple other things, but I think projects. This is where I'm going to be, whether it's household projects, cottage projects, buy sell plan, working on inserts, sketching inserts out, things like that. I think that's what I'm going to use it for. What I wanted to show you though is I'm going to take them out of the binder and show you pages and pages of sketches, front and back, for the CEO Life Planner. It's going really well so far. I've been taking lots of notes. I've been scribbling things out, saying, no, that's not going to work, or this goes with this, change in the order, things like that. And so far I have it narrowed down to an annual vision map, a CEO identity map, values and boundaries, clarity, quarterly focus plan, monthly strategy plan, a monthly wellness KPI, and monthly emotional summary. That's what I have so far. And what I've been doing is transferring all of that onto these 8.5 by 11 sheets because it's bigger and easier to see and easier to plan. Like there's one I completely was like, nope, that's not gonna work. And then my husband, who's my business partner, we will sit down and together and build the planner because he sees things that I don't see. It's really interesting that in both our real estate business and buy sell plan business, our strengths and weaknesses are opposite. So we have a really good balance going on here, which is so awesome. Yeah, so really excited. So stay tuned for that. I don't think it's going to be in the shop for Black Friday, so I do apologize for that, because Black Friday will be our biggest sale of the year. I will have it in there though by the end of the year, and ideally by end of November, because I do my business plan and yearly planning by end of November, because my fiscal year for real estate starts November the 1st. I've talked about this in many of my planning videos. So November is when I start working towards the next year's financial goals. But our business planning clinic that we do every year at our brokerage is not until I think the 20th of November. So once I attend that, then I dig deep into it, because even though I go every year, and I have been for the last 9 years that I've been in real estate, there's always something that I pick up that I didn't think of or that I forgot about. And I'm always working on tweaking my system to make it even more functional and more specific. So I will be waiting for that before I really dig into my business plan. But ideally, I would like to have my CEO life planner ready for that as well. So stay tuned, bear with me, it's coming. In the meantime, feel free to let me know if there's anything that you think should be in a CEO life planner. I would love to incorporate your ideas as well. All right, grab a cozy drink. I am drinking just decaf coffee today. Let me know in the comments what your cozy drink is. If you're drinking a coffee, put a coffee emoji. And if you're drinking a tea, do a tea emoji. I think that would be fun to see. So yeah, grab your cozy drink and your planner, your favorite pen, and let's get planning. All right, a little bit different of a setup here today. My mother-in-law made me this beautiful placemat for me to put my planner on. I picked out the colors, and I knew I wanted the inside of the flower to be brown, and then the pink, and then the beige, and I absolutely love it. And then she also made me a planner pouch, and I just absolutely love it. My idea with this is I wanted it to be for fall, but I think this is going to be good all year round. So I put it in this way because I don't want to stretch it too much. I guess it could go this way as well. But yesterday I used this and I had my planner in here like this. Isn't that so cute? And then I put it in my tote bag. So cozy. I absolutely love it. And I'm so blessed that I have a mother-in-law that knows how to do this kind of stuff. I do want to learn. It's a goal that I have. I want to get into sewing and I want to get into crocheting, but one hobby at a time. All right, let's get to it. So full disclosure, I filmed my entire plan with me and I didn't have a microphone on. After I filmed my intro, my face to camera intro, I got a phone call. So I got busy doing other things. Then I ended up putting a sweater on because I got cold. And then I sat down to plan, took my sweater off because I got warm, forgetting that I had the microphone on my sweater. And I filmed the whole video. So I did the editing and trying to add the music to it, and the sound was just too horrible for me to post. So I would rather refilm. I want to make sure that I'm putting quality videos up here on YouTube for you guys. And yeah, the audio was so bad. We put it up to 400% and it was still low and echoey, and it's just horrible. And I thought that would not be a good experience for the viewers. So what I'm going to do is walk you through how I reset for the week, right? So every Saturday, typically this week it was Friday because I was very busy. It is Sunday now as I'm doing this, and it's 12:45 as I'm filming. So hopefully I'll get this up. I want to get this up by 3 o'clock for you guys. But once a week I sit down and I go through my weekly planning tasks. This helps me stay on track and ensure that I don't forget any of the steps so that things don't fall through the cracks. All right, so first up, let's go to this week, is to recap my task card and any numbers that I set for myself. So here's my task card from last week. So my goal was morning me time, and that would incorporate whatever I feel like doing. Could be exercise, so some type of movement, or journaling. And I did pretty good with that with my morning me time. Yesterday I did film, so I didn't get my morning me time in yesterday. And then I did today, Sunday. All right, so I did well with that. And then, another morning me time was stillness. So I haven't done that. I want to get back into doing, whether it's in the morning or in the evening, but just like quiet meditation, journaling, just being alone with my thoughts, right? Having that stillness. I find that I'm missing that, and it's affecting me. So, but I didn't get to it this week. And then evening wind down has also been a goal because I haven't been sleeping the greatest. But I only did my evening wind down on Monday night, unfortunately. I wanted to point out with the journaling, I have a few journals going on right now. This is like stream of consciousness, just journaling about whatever, my day, how I'm feeling, what's on my mind, things like that. Okay, so I haven't done any journaling in here since October the 15th. So I used to be really consistent with this. It was every single night I would sit down and journal. But then it started to get to a point where it felt like a chore. Like I didn't really have anything on my mind. I didn't feel like I needed to journal, but I would do it anyways just so that I didn't miss a day. And so then I let that go. And now I journal when I feel like I need it. So I don't have that pressure of feeling like I have to journal every single day. What I have been getting into is more creative journaling, and I'm really enjoying this. So I started this notebook. My thought with this was that this was going to be for 2025, and I was just going to be journaling creatively, but kind of whatever's on my mind. And I did like 2 spreads and then I stopped. So I've picked it up again. I'll probably change this sticker for 2026 because I do want to be more consistent with this. This has been so much fun. So I started the journal with a page of I am statements. And then I'm going to put a picture of myself here and do some journaling. And then this page here is sweet nothings from my husband. He's so funny. He says they're romantic but funny at the same time. Like this one here. After I woke him up because I heard him making his wake up noises. He goes, well, I was waiting for you to turn off the fan and to see your beauty before getting up. Like he just says, oh man, I could write a book. But my goal with this was every time he says something really sweet, I want to write it down here because I want to start documenting it. And then he says a lot of things when I'm not at home, and then I forget by the time I get home. So I got to start like either taking a little notepad with me or putting them in like at my notes app on my phone and then writing them in here. But anyways, that's what that page is for. And then this is just highlights from January. This was an about me page using nothing but stickers. I had so much fun with this spread. And then went to Nova Scotia, so just put some, this is from April, some ephemera and some memories. And then this was from a couple weeks ago. I went to a local journal meetup. So I was very inspired by other people that were there. I used ephemera that was in the cafe that we were at. It was like a local newspaper. And yeah, I used ephemera from that. It was so much fun. And then this was from Fine on Pens. So yeah, that's where I'm at. This is astrology notebook. So I've been journaling in here versus in my regular journal. So that's why I check that off, because I'm doing something that's making me happy and it's like therapeutic. It's keeping me off of my devices. And I call it analog. Well, it is analog, right? So it's like a way for me to decompress and get creative. And it's been so much fun. All right. So for my real estate business, my goal was to do 20 contacts 3 times this week. I didn't do any lead generation at all. I wanted to complete my mileage. I did, but I did not go through all my gas receipts. I am 100% up to date. So November 1st starts a new fiscal year for me and my real estate business. So I got all my mileage for 2024 done in my tracker, but I need to go through my gas receipts and track all of that. And I have the whole year to do. Ugh. Okay, and then content. I wanted to schedule content for my real estate Instagram because I have a lot of content ideas. I've got it scripted out in my notes app, all of that, right? But then I don't have it done ahead of time and scheduled out. And so I find it overwhelming when it comes time to do content. I'm doing it on the fly, right? It's like, oh, it's Monday, I should post something. And then I sit down and I'm going through all my B-roll footage and okay, well, what can I put with this? And then what audio can I put with this? And then it gets overwhelming and then I don't do it because I have other more important things to do right? So I didn't get to the scheduling. For buy sell plan, I wanted to work on my wellness CEO life planner. I showed you that, and I've got a really good start with that. And 2026 inserts in the shop, we are pretty much there. I think all of Q1, Q2, and Q3 of our inserts are in there. If Q4 is not in there yet, because Ryan's been uploading them, they will be in there by the end of this weekend. And then schedule my content for buy sell plan as well, and I didn't do that. All right, so that's how I did with my my numbers and my task card. And you can see here, like I've got a couple, I did a contact there, like one like must do follow up. But yeah, that's it. Like I didn't do any lead gen. Okay, current month's goals. Let's go there. So my action plan for this month, I have all my goals right here. So 20 contacts a day, 1 reel, and 2 carousels per week for real estate. So these are all going to be X's when I do my recap for October because I was not consistent throughout the month. My goal is I'm going to finish October strong. I'm going to get back on track with doing my lead gen and getting back into working on my business or in my business, and then getting into scheduling my content. And then for buy sell plan, Black Friday prep, we are slowly getting there with that. Wellness planner, I've been focusing more on the CEO life planner, which does have some wellness in it. So I'm not sure yet if I will have 2, the CEO life planner and then a separate one for wellness, or amalgamate the 2. What do you think I should do? Because with the wellness planner, I want to have in there meal tracking as well as exercise tracking. And with the meal tracking, I want to also have a spot for symptoms. And then I want to have in there to track exercises like weight training, cardio, things like that. And then symptoms as well, because if you are at my stage of life with perimenopause, as hormones are changing, what I did in my 30s and even in the early part of my 40s, I cannot do that now. So it's a lot of trial and error figuring out what type of movement works for this new phase of life that I'm in. So that's what I'm thinking for a wellness planner, to have something like that, right? So anyways, if you have any ideas, I would love to hear them. Okay, and then the reel and the carousels, I was not consistent with that either. And then for my wellness, having my morning me time, phone boundaries, and then reading 1 book and journaling. So apart from this week, I've been doing really well at reading my book. I'm almost done the current book that I'm reading. So that's another thing I want to get back into routine this coming week. And then my phone boundaries, doing pretty good with that. Like as far as not being on my phone through the day, I did fall off the wagon a couple of times this week, but for the most part, I'm not on my phone throughout the day or in the evening. Like I'll go on maybe for an hour throughout the day to check DMs and messages. But as far as the doom scrolling, I'm doing so much better with that. And I definitely feel a difference. Okay, so that's how I'm doing with my current month's goals. And then for my quarterly goals, my main goal for this quarter and the rest of the year is I'm not forcing results. I'm following a rhythm. Every action I take now is creating compound clarity so my future self doesn't have to hustle. And this is going really well because I'm recognizing more in the moment when I'm falling into old patterns. And it's so nice to catch it before I go too far. So yeah, day by day, week by week, I am getting stronger with that. And then as far as my goals for this quarter, I've got here my content calendar. I pretty much have that mapped out. It's in my notes app. But I want Ryan to create something in our intranet that we have, like where I have my trackers for real estate. And we're currently working on one for our buy sell plan business as well. And then documenting as we're progressing through prepping for our Black Friday promotion, documenting that experience. Friday review system, I pretty much have that done. I need to get it in circulation. I'm like, do I start it now or do I wait till 2026? Because it's a weekly thing, and I'm thinking what will happen is it's going to go like right here at the end of each week before I start. I guess this is a better one to show you. Like it will go right here and it'll be my Friday, my weekly review system. And before I go into like planning for the next week, I'm still working on that. Okay. And then I haven't done my rate card yet. And then a weekly 15-minute check-in. So you know what? This is kind of redundant, isn't it? a Friday review system, and then a weekly 15-minute check-in. I'm probably going to put those into one. Yeah, I think I will. And then we are working on a signature line for our inserts, with a nice, beautiful, more of a classy font. I love my typewriter font, but I'm thinking for next year, I'm going to use the new font. So yeah, we are working on that as well. Okay, next week's goals. So I did my task card for next week. My main goal for wellness is reading before bed. I want to get back into that rhythm. So for most nights, doing my evening journaling, minimum of 3 times, and then no screens before bed. Because I did, like I said, I fell off the wagon a couple times this week. And I have found, like, I was even talking to Ryan about this last night, like I've fallen into some previous habits, and it's ever since vacation. And I've always been one that I've been able to just bounce right back when I'm back from vacation. And this month was really tough for me to, dive right into work. And we've been back for, has it been 3 weeks? I'm still struggling, but I'm feeling motivated now to get back into it next week. And then at the same time, I'm thinking, well, you know what? I'm just following the rhythm of my body, my energy. My body clearly needed this break, because I've really been focused like all summer. If you watched my fall reset video, I shared the momentum that I had gained over the summer, and then my goal was to continue that in through the fall and the rest of the year. And perhaps I needed a break. That's what I'm thinking. My body just needed a break, because things were really busy, and September was a busy month for us for real estate. And yeah, I just needed a break, and that's okay. I'm ready to get back into it. So for real estate, I'm going to do my 20 contacts a minimum of 3 times this week. I'm going to sit down and schedule my content and get back to doing my market minutes. And then for buy sell plan, focusing this week on my CEO life planner. I would like to get it completely sketched out, so that either this week or next week, Ryan and I can sit down together and start building the inserts. And then scheduling my content for buy sell plan as well. And then Ryan and I need to sit down this week and do a meeting on Black Friday. When are we going to start the sale? When are we going to start promoting it? And what does that look like? What are we going to be offering? What percentage off? We do know that we want this to be our biggest sale of the year, because we weren't able to participate in Black Friday last year because we were too new. We just started our shop, I believe it was last November is when we started putting inserts in the shop, but we didn't have everything in the shop yet. So we weren't able to participate. We weren't ready. So we're ready this year, and we're really excited to be able to participate in that. Okay. So then after making my tasks and setting my goals, then I look at my master task list in case there is anything in here that I need to get done this week, or would like to get done this week, or I would have time to get done this week. As you can see, I don't have a whole lot on here. I did watch these replays, so I can check that off now. We need to clean up Canva, because that's what we use to build our inserts, and we have so many like old things in there that we've redone. Yeah, so we need to clean that up. We have been going through it, like I'm making folders now for 2025 inserts, 2026 inserts, to make it more easier to navigate. And yeah, okay, Christmas card list that I want to do. That's not going to get done. Well, I wrote it down as a task for this week, right? Christmas card list. It's time to start thinking about that, like our client Christmas cards. And I want to have those done by mid-November, so that like first week in December, we can start mailing them out. Black Friday prep, we're already starting on that. 2026 in the shop, and then my CEO wellness planner. Okay, so I have a good handle on all of these. And then I have a couple personal appointments that I need to, I did this one, but I need a referral for a sports medicine doctor. So I need to call my family doctor this week to do that, because I'm having issues with my shoulders. Okay, and then transferring tasks from my master task list, as well as my weekly tasks. So I did that. So this is last week's, or I guess this current week. So you can see the ones that I'm carrying over to this week and the ones that I have completed. All right, so I've got those in here. I've got my top follow-up in here. I need to, we have clients that we connected with a mortgage agent for a second opinion, because the other mortgage agent they were working with gave them like a pre-approval, and they asked my opinion, and so I recommended they get a second opinion. It doesn't hurt. So I need to follow up with that because I showed them a house that I think we're going to be putting in an offer on. So yeah, I need to follow up with them on that. I've got my work routines in here, personal routines, and then other routines that I want to incorporate. And then the next and final is scheduling my week. So I have done that. And actually, since I did this, I have other things that got booked. So let's write those in. Monday, I love this, a lot of white space. So Monday's going to be a good day for me to do my market intel and film market minute, and then do my lead generation. And I would like to schedule content. I was thinking maybe I would do that today, but I want to organize my craft space and my desk. And I think that's going to take me a little while. Although my desk is pretty good. It's not cluttered, but my planner cart, I'm in a condo now, so I don't have as much room as I used to. So I'm finding I'm constantly having to go through my stuff to be more minimal and not accumulate things that I know that I'm not going to use. So it's a good exercise because it keeps me from collecting too much stuff because I don't have the room for it. So I have to stay on top of it. So I'm going to do that today. So yeah, so tomorrow I would like to schedule content, and then I need to follow up with my menopause doctor and then my sports medicine referral. So that's Monday. Tuesday, I have my broker meeting, lead gen. My hubby's getting his hair cut on Tuesday. And I write it in my planner because it's my best friend who cuts our hair, and she comes to our house, which is really cool. So it ends up being a visit. So that's why I put that in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna do lead gen this day as well before my friend comes over, because I know I won't do it after. Wednesday, I am now showing a property. All right, so I've got my showing in there. It's out of town, so we have quite a bit of driving to do for that. Other than that, I don't have anything else scheduled. I just realized we showed, so in my intro of this video, I mentioned that we're showing 5 properties on Saturday to our clients. We ended up showing them 8 properties. And luckily, the housewarming that we were going to, my client, she had to cancel because she is a nurse and worked night. She worked an extra 2 hours. She was really tired. So she canceled, and it worked out perfectly because we ended up showing 3 additional properties. So I need to follow up on offers for our clients to see. I know that there's one they definitely want to put an offer in on, but I think it might be over their budget because it was a really beautiful house. But anyways, I need to follow up on that, on which ones. Some of the properties we showed are holding offers. So there's offers Monday and Tuesday, and then there's others that were not holding offers. So yeah, I'll be needing to follow up on which properties we're going to be putting offers in on. And that was it. Dermatology appointment on Thursday, and then Friday is our daughter's 28th birthday. Can't believe it, 28. And she is a Halloween baby. She was born on Halloween in 1997. So we're going to be taking her out for lunch and then taking her shopping to buy her a birthday gift. And then Saturday, I have the Toronto Stationery Show. So excited. I'm going with my best friend since grade 4. She's just getting into like journaling and planning and things. So that's going to be fun. And then going with my sister and then another friend. And then, so with the stationery show, it is free admission. And the last time we went, we waited an hour and a half in line. So we paid for VIP tickets so that we're guaranteed to get in at a specific time. And then a new friend who I've met at some local journal meetups, she's going as well. And she paid for VIP for an hour before us. So we're hoping that when we're done with our shopping and browsing, that we can meet up at a local cafe and do some cafe journaling. I'm so excited. And then before we go in though, we're going to be making a day out of it. So our goal is to go early, go to Muji and some other stationery shops and go out for lunch, and then go to our time at the stationery show and then do the journal the cafe journaling. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to share this with you. I do have a video of, I think the last time, how many have I filmed? Because I've gone to 3, or has it been 2? I don't even remember. But I do know that I did do a vlog and I have shared it. So I will link it if you would like to watch that. But yeah, please let me know if you would like me to share this day with you. All right. And then Sunday is my October recap video. Okay, so here's the plan. So there will be no weekly planning video next week because it's the end of October. So therefore I will be doing my October recap and then sharing what my goals are for November. All right. And so I'm thinking of filming. I'm hoping I'll be able to film my October recap on Friday before we meet our daughter for lunch. And then the editing will be Friday night, Saturday. I'll do my part Friday. Ryan will do his part Saturday, and then we'll upload it on Sunday. All right. And with November being the first month of the new fiscal year, I'm going to see if I can do a rough draft of my goals for 2026, because the business planning clinic that I go to every year, my brokerage isn't until November the 20th. And I like to go to that every year, even though I've been doing it for 9 years. I like to go because there's always something that I pick up. I always learn something or am reminded of something. So I was thinking, do I wait to do my business plan until then? Or do I think I'm going to try to fit that in this week. I do have a lot of white space on Monday, not Wednesday. So maybe Tuesday or Thursday. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. There you go. That's how I reset my week, recap, and set new goals for the following week. I hope that you enjoyed this video and you got some value out of it. It's pretty much the same every week, but I do this weekly ritual because it helps me feel centered and grounded so that I'm going into the next week knowing exactly what I have ahead of me instead of planning as the day goes and reacting each day as things come up. This helps me know for sure what I have ahead of me. Like, for example, I did film my planning video Friday, and then yesterday I had a client message me about going to see this house. And so because I already knew, and I was on the road all day yesterday, I already knew that Wednesday was the day I had available because I had already planned my week. You know what I mean? So that's how I do it. Thank you so much for watching. And when you comment with your coffee or your tea emoji, please let me know what you're drinking. So if it's coffee, is it a latte or is it like a coffee, black coffee or cream and sugar? And then if it's a tea, what tea are you drinking? I would love to know. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And I hope you have a good last week of October. And let me know in the comments, what's one thing that you're focusing on next week to finish your October strong? For me, it's my lead generation and getting back on track with doing my calls. But I would love to know what your number one focus is for this week as well. All right. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.